أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you to another edition of Islam a Simple series. In this series, we exhibit elements of simplicity, attractiveness, and easiness in the religion of Islam, which Allah declares that is the religion that He has sent to mankind. I am Dr. Tajudeen Adebayo. You are welcome on board. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In this edition, we want to look at fasting on a journey. In the verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares fasting compulsory on believers. He said, وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Whoever is on a journey or is sick, let him repay the number of days he has missed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made provision for people on a journey to be relieved of fasting, especially when it becomes a burden on them. Therefore, the option of breaking the fast remains voluntary when the observer is still comfortable and may become obligatory when it turns difficult. Let's look at this narration by Jabir ibn Abdullah. He said, the Messenger of Allah kharaja ila Makkah am al-Fatah. He proceeded on a journey. The Messenger of Allah went out on a journey on the day of conquest of Makkah. Fasoma hatta balaga Qura al-Gamim. He was fasting until they got to a place known as Qura al-Gamim. And people were fasting along with him. But at a point, he was told, Inna nasa qad shaqqa alayhim as-siyam. It's like this fasting has become a burden on people. And they were just waiting for you to know what you do. Then the Messenger of Allah called for a cup of water and drank it after answering prayer. Fashariba wan nas yanzuruna ilayhi. He drank the water and people were looking at him. And some of them also drank water to break their fast, while some refused to break their fast, they continued. So when he got to know that some people continued their fasting, he said, Ulaika humul usat. Those ones are the deviant ones, because it had become a burden on them. So meaning that when fasting is becoming unbearable for those who are on a journey, then they are expected to break the fast. You appreciate this better if you refuse to take this kind of advice and you are traveling from a zone where the timing, your timing is a bit higher or faster than them. For instance, you are traveling from Malaysia, you are coming to Nigeria. Let's say Malaysia is 7 hours ahead Nigeria. Then you took off maybe around Sumi prayer and you are still fasting, thinking that by the time you land in Lagos, you will be very close to Iftar. But here you are. You land in Lagos, it's just 12 in the afternoon, meaning that you are fasting like more than 24 hours. You appreciate that fasting on a journey may not be something that is really encouraged. But if the fasting is not a burden, and where you are going is not too different, the timing zone is not too different from where you are coming from, then it may become optional for you to break the fast. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, the companions of Rasulullah sometimes, kanu yusafirun, they will travel. Fala ya'ibu soyim al-muftar. Some of them will fast, some will not fast. And those who are fasting will not condemn those who are not fasting. Wala al-muftir al-soyim. And those who are not fasting will not condemn those who are fasting. So meaning that it was optional when it is easy for travelers. It's comfortable for them, they can continue to fast. If they are not comfortable, then they can break the fast. So, but no matter how comfortable you are, a journey is a form of discomfort. So it's an option that Allah has made for people to make things easy for them. In addition to that, when do we start the fasting? Calling to prayer for Subi prayer is meant to be done when the time of when the dawn is out, when the al-fajr is seen. That is the commencement of the fasting. And for every prayer, you don't call adhan until the time of prayer has come. But for Subi prayer, it is allowed that you call the first adhan when the fake fajr, the fake dawn is allowed, is outside. And that will be the first adhan to just wake people that yes, it's close to the time of salat. The second adhan will be when the original fajr comes out. And the gap in between the two is not far. It's not far. So when the first adhan is called, you can still continue to eat. But when the second adhan is called, you just have to stop fasting. Sayyidah Aisha reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had two callers. One of them was Bilal. Kana yu'adhin bil-layl. Bilal used to call his own first adhan in the night, meaning that the dawn has not come. The Prophet said, you can still continue to eat until Ibn Maktum, the second mu'adhin, will call adhan. So when he calls on adhan, you just have to stop eating. The time of sahur has ended. Because Allah says, فَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخِيطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخِيطِ الْأَسْوَدِ. You can eat and drink until the black thread of the night is now showing, the white thread of the day is showing underneath the black thread of the night. And then you can stop fasting. And as I said earlier, you should make sure that you take sahur. Some people don't like eating in the night or early morning. But whether you like it or not, you can even take a sip of water. The Prophet said, "Tasaharu fa inna fi sahuri baraka." Make sure you take sahur because there is a blessing in that early morning food. It's highly recommended. It's highly recommended. And it's the departure, it's the difference between the fasting of Islam and the fasting before Islam. So no matter how little, Muslims are encouraged to take sahur. And when the time of breaking the fast comes, Islam abhors extremism. Don't overdo things. Don't extend the time of fasting from the morning. Don't eat your own sahur around 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. and say, no, don't, it's like we're extending the time of fasting towards the back. And do not also extend it beyond iftar. You need to break the fast when the time to break the fast comes. And you need to also stop eating when the time to commence the fasting has come. Because we don't want to put you in a tight corner. The Prophet said, La yazalu nasu bikhair. People will continue to be well. It shall be well with them. Ma'ajjalul fitra. As long as they hasten up to break their fast. فَإِنَّ الْيَهُودَ يُؤَخِّرُونَ. It is the Jews that used to delay their own fasting. The time specified for sahur to stop is fajr. You can eat up to that moment. And when the time to break the fast comes, immediately they call adhan Allahu Akbar for Maghrib. The next thing for you is to break your fast. And you'll be relieved. You'll be relieved. And in addition to that, the Messenger of Allah discourages all act of extension by doing a marathon fasting. Anas reports that Prophet said, La tuwasilu. Do not do a marathon fasting, whereby you continue fasting all throughout the day and you won't break the fast until the time of sahur comes. And sometimes we don't even eat sahur. Then somebody said, Oh, Messenger of Allah, we noticed that you also do similar thing. He said, No. Lastu ka ahadin minkum. I'm not like one of you. Inni ut'am wa usqa. They feed me and they gave me something to drink while I was sleeping. And inni abitu utam wa usqa. So you can't compare yourself to me. Don't emulate me in this practice, so that you don't put yourself in a tight corner. This is one of the peculiarities of prophethood. So do not make life difficult for you. When the time comes for you to break your fast, break your fast. When the time for you to stop eating for sahur, stop eating. And don't delay it over a period of time. When we are fasting, it is not allowed for couple to cohabit. It spoils the fasting and to warrant kafara, atonement. if you have to go into your wife in the day. But can we embrace or touch? This can be allowed if it is not going to lead to something bigger than that. Because Allah says, وَلَا تُبَاشِرُهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. Mubashara in Arabic means to embrace, and it can even be extended to having intercourse. A companion asked Aisha whether the Messenger of Allah used to embrace his wife in the day of fasting. Sayyidah Aisha said yes. But she quickly sounded a note of warning. Kana amlakukum li'irbi. But he's the one that can control himself more than any one of you. He will not degenerate into anyone into committing sexual intercourse. No, that is not done. It's not done. So in that case, for believers who cannot control themselves, it is haram for them to embrace their wives. But for those who can control themselves, well, embracing their spouses will not disturb their fasting as long as they do not continue to a dangerous zone. But in the night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it halal. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. Allah has made the night lawful for you to go into your wives. Because hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahunna. Because you are like garments for them and they are like garments for you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it halal, allowed, intimacy among the spouses in the nights of Ramadan. This is because some companions confessed that they actually went into that, they contravened the rule. Because at the beginning of fasting, it was not allowed to even do anything like that throughout the month. But some of them contravened this rule and they confessed. And Allah revealed this verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 187. So it is allowed right from the time of iftar after Maghrib till the time of Subh prayer to have intercourse with one's wife. Sometimes they may even fall asleep after the intercourse and they wake up only for sahur. They take sahur in preparation for the fasting of the other day. It doesn't have any impact on their fasting. All they need to do is to make sure that they bath. They take their ritual bath before the Subh prayer. And if somebody has a wet dream at the same time, it will also not affect his fasting, even in the afternoon, as long as it was not the one who caused that to happen. So all these are exempted from repaying the fasting. Viewers, this is where we're going to end this episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.